My name is Ryan Kelly and I'm a tattoo artist. I finished school when I was 16. My whole life I wanted to go to the army. That was just what I wanted to do. The team that I guess I was going in with got halted. So in that time I was kind of at a loose end. I'd ended up getting a tattoo in a tattoo shop. That was the first tattoo I got. Something small, but I remember just being like, this is it, you know what I mean? This is where I'm supposed to be. It felt freedom. I was like, these people don't look like they're in work. While I was getting tattooed, they kind of mentioned about an apprenticeship. So I asked the guy, I was like, what's the deal with the apprenticeship? And he was like, you just have to bring in a portfolio. I went home and for like a week straight, I drew like 10, 12 hours a day, make this portfolio. I thought it was amazing. I still have it. It's actually, when I look back, I'm like, how did I get that apprenticeship? So I brought it back to him. I got the apprenticeship. I was about 6 months into that and the army kind of recalled and I kind of had that choice and I didn't go to the army. So I kept with the tattooing. I'm into things like interior design and things like that. So it kind of nearly irked me being in shops where I was just like, why does it look like this? That's where the idea came about. Me and a friend of mine that were working there, we just said like, let's do our own thing. So we opened a really small shop on the north side of Dublin. It was like probably smaller than this room. And yeah, within like a year, we had 9 artists in that room. We were like rotating stations, doing late nights to fit people in. After a year or two, we were like, it's too small here. So we moved over here to Drury Street, 3-story building. And within a year, that took over the building next door as well. So it was fast, but it was a labor of love. I think we sort of broke the mold in it being just somewhere where you're gonna sit in a chair and you're gonna get a tattoo. It's somewhere where you're gonna come and feel relaxed. It feels bigger than me, which was always the idea. You go to a tattoo shop, you'll be like as if the head tattoo artist is like the lead singer of the band. Here, the idea was that if I left tomorrow, the shop's not gonna change. Like most people probably don't know I own a shop. It worked out, it's bigger than me now. Came about because it was somewhere that I wanted to work in. When I kind of work in shops, it didn't feel like the place I wanted to work in. And I was like, what is the place? Like interiors, things like that. You can change your mood when you walk into somewhere depending on how it, you know. If you walk in here not for a tattoo, I'd like that it gives you the impression that you would think, well, even if I did want a tattoo, I definitely want to do it here. And that's kind of the idea. When I started tattooing, I was really, really, really bad at it. Like I've had apprentices now that from the get-go, they're like starting at a 5 out of 10. Where like I was at a 1 out of 10 for a long time. I've seen people do their first tattoos and I'm like, it genuinely took me 5 years to do that tattoo. I had people telling me, I don't think this is for you. I wouldn't even say I believed that I was gonna get better. I liked it too much to stop. I didn't have the natural ability and I didn't. So for me, like tattooing now, that's why I think it's even more important to me probably than someone that's natural at it. If it wasn't tattooing, if it had been like, I don't know, an accountant or something else I studied, I was that bad at it, I would have just got fired. They were like, you're just not good at this job. But with tattooing, it was like, as long as people want me to keep tattooing them, I'll do it. I'd look at it and go, that doesn't look too good, but you asked for it. I started out in a really good shop and personally made the decision to leave to tattoo at home where I could kind of just focus on the basics and do my own thing, and spent a few years working out of my mom's shed in the back garden, and that's what I was doing for 3-4 years, 7 days a week, tattooing in the shed. And then when I felt ready, I came back and went to the same shop. I was like, yeah, ready. And they were like, yeah, you're ready. And it's that. When I'd done my apprenticeship, I wasn't trained in that. And then I just kind of segued into doing that style that I'd been trained in, which was a bit of everything. So if you wanted any style under the sun, except for fine line, the one thing I wanted to do, I would do it. And then the way my tattooing was going, like, again, it wasn't that it was terrible, it just wasn't I immediately had a high standard for myself and it just wasn't there, you know. I was toying around with it, I'd kind of lost the love for it. I wasn't really enjoying it, but I was like too deep in it where I was like, it would have just felt like giving up. Because I knew in my head, I was like, if I was better at this, I would be enjoying it. So the only reason I'm stopping is because I'm not good enough. I was like, I owe it to myself to get better at it, get good at it, and then decide if I like it. I remember asking a friend, could I do like a fine line tattoo on him? I'd like never used this, which we call a single needle. So it's like just the smallest needle you can get. In all the shops I'd ever worked in, I'd never even seen them, just no one used them here. So I got them online and did a little portrait on them. I'd never felt so passionate about doing a tattoo. It was literally the best tattoo I'd ever done by a country mile. And I remember just being like, oh, this is it. And from like being someone that was sitting in a shop, say, waiting for walk-ins, so I'd have like no bookings, and I'd work in a shop where other people are booked up. Within maybe 6 months, I could have booked out 2 years at a time. It just like flew. And it was the passion in what I was doing was what I was always missing, you know? I was passionate about tattooing and I never linked up that there's a million different type of tattoos. I was doing these tattoos that people wanted that didn't sink to me, and then once I actually started these fine line tattoos, luckily I happened to be actually good at them. I just progressed fast, and it was, if there was a perfect way for me to get good at the fine line, it was the years of doing the other styles and that stuff where people kind of overleap now, where when you train nowadays, you'll usually just pick a style and get trained in it, where back when I trained, traditionally you'd learn all styles because you'd work in shops where you have to take whatever comes in the door. So when I was just doing the one thing over and over and over, I was like, oh, that's where you get results and progress. Now I only use that needle, that's it, all day, every day. It's probably easier to create something than it is to then halt it somewhere. It's very easy to kind of get ahead of yourself and just start spreading it everywhere. And before you know it, that kind of epicenter of what it was is just, and you can't bring it back. You can't return it. For me, like 1,000,000%, like Heartbreak Social Club, it's never going to be bigger than these two buildings. Never, ever. If someone gave me €1,000,000 tomorrow to put it in the next building down, I wouldn't do it. It's just, it means too much to me. Because when I'm gone, I want it to be here. Who's going to run 10 shops? You know, I mean, most people are going to go, forget about it. I think for longevity, most things have to be small unless you're a big corporation, you know. Speaking of Ireland specifically, I would make it regulated. Tattooing in Ireland has no regulation. So you can walk out of here right now and you can open a shop across the road. No one's going to come knocking that door to see if you're using clean needles. No one's going to check what inks you're using. So if you're a legitimate shop that is spending the money to do everything properly and safely, and someone could open a shop next door to you, cut the costs of what you're offering probably by 90%, and potentially be reusing needles and things like that. I'm not saying that's happening anywhere, but you could if you wanted. No one's going to come in there and shut you down. No one's going to tell you can't do that. And obviously, like any industry in the world, of course, there's going to be people that will go, oh, I can do this for cheap and I can make money, because probably they're not passionate about it. And that happens, you know. There's so many shops in Dublin. Any of them I know are all amazing and they all do it right. But I also know shops that don't do it right. Heartbreak Social Club. It is a brand, you know. It's somewhere where I can be out now and I see people wearing Heartbreak Social Club hoodies, and I know some of them don't even know it's a tattoo shop. And that was always the idea. Like, if you think of tattoo shop, usually they're called something ink, something tattoo, something whatever it is. And my idea always was that we want someone to be able to buy a hoodie, wear it around, and not know it's a tattoo shop. And that was weirdly one of the first ideas. Where I live in the shopping centre, and I saw like a family and 2 kids wearing Heartbreak Social Club jumpers. And I like looked at the parents, like, they don't seem to have any tattoos. And I was like, somehow they just have the hoodies. Where I don't believe if it was Heartbreak Tattoo Shop that they'd be wearing them. I really don't. That's what I'm proud of, that I built something that I probably couldn't even build again. It has something to it that I don't think even I could recreate. If someone like took it away today and these buildings burnt down, if I got another building on the street, I don't think I could make it happen again. There was a lot of luck, there was a lot of hard work, a lot of ideas that didn't work, and it was molded into this through a lot of failures, you know. It was never a business. It was never geared to be a business. It was geared to be a destination.